Begin with some tragic news, though. 3 illegal miners have been trapped and they were found dead in a mining pit in Achim Apenaman in the Denchambor districts of the eastern region. The bodies of the deceased were found after the assemblyman for the area made a complaint to the police over a collapsed mining pit around Old Apenaman Cemetery. The police proceeded to the scene and found the 3 bodies covered with leaves. Here's Eastern Regional Police PRO, DSP Ebenezer Tete.
The police in Akutia is investigating the case of a natural death in its jurisdiction. Today at about 2 p.m., the assemblyman at Apenaman, Honorable John Boachi, came to the police station and reported that at about 12 p.m. he had information that a gold pit had collapsed and some people around Old Apenaman Cemetery have been trapped. Police, on receipt of information, proceeded to the scene and found 3 bodies covered with leaves. The deceased names were given as Akusua Asantiwa, age 41, Yauntiamo, age 35, and Yao Bismarck, age about 25. Information gathered at the scene indicated that they were in the pits mining for gold and suddenly it collapsed on them. Bodies have since been removed and the officer at the scene, Dominic, officer for preservation and autopsy, whilst investigations are ongoing.
Let's go on the phone lines now and speak to correspondent Kofi Siam. Kofi, when and how did this incident happen?
Okay, so the incident happened yesterday in the afternoon at Achim Apenaman. Achim Apenaman lies between the Kede area and Akwatia. So anybody who knows that Apenaman is in the Kwabigrim district of the eastern region.
And Kofi, were there other persons with them?
Well, the information we are getting from the police and the residents around is that there were no other persons with them. What happened was that that area is a concession that people usually go there to mine, and it has been released to some of these small-scale miners in that community. So they are known legal miners, small-scale miners in that community. So when the incident happened, it is coming as a shock to the residents over there because these are people they know as legal miners and not illegal miners.
Kofi, tell us about these 3 persons and what are family members saying?
Okay, so these 3 members include 2 men and a woman, and they are all residents of Achim Apenaman. I'm told the woman is a trader, and the guys are also known small-scale miners in that community. The family members, for now, are in a mood of sorrow. What they are saying is that they themselves are very shocked at what has happened yesterday, and that they're going to cooperate with the police to ensure that they find out exactly what caused the accident.
Kofi Sian will leave it here. That's our Eastern Regional correspondent, Edwin Kofi Sian, with details of 3 persons were found dead, apparently trapped in the mining pits. Now, riding commercial tricycle without license is the most flouted road traffic regulation in the Ashanti region. As many as 258 out of a total of 298 people arrested in a special operation by the Ashanti Regional Security Council involved commercial tricycle operators. Prosecution of 188 cases has generated over 500 cedis in court fines. Or 27,500 Ghana cedis, I beg your pardon, in court fines. Here's Nanaya Achima with more.
A total of 697 tricycles and motorbikes were involved in road crashes in the first half of 2021. 104 people died through the accidents, with 539 of them injured. The death toll forms 29.6% of fatalities recorded on the roads within the period. This informed the special operation by Ashanti Regional Security Council to deal with the incidents. Simon Osei-Mensah heads RECSEC.
If you go to most of our health facilities in the regions, most of the accidents being reported are caused by these 3 vehicles. As a result, Regional Security Council, we decided to take some measures and sanitize the system. They don't follow any transport regulations. So they drive along in the medians, they drive along the shoulders of the road and knocking people down, etc.
The Police Motor, Traffic and Transport Department has since stepped up efforts to deal with the fatalities by ensuring adherence to traffic regulations. Chief Superintendent Emmanuel Edubuahin explains the special assignment revealed majority of commercial riders, popularly known as pragia, operate without license, increasing the potential of accidents.
Any arrest has to end at the law court. So when you are arrested, what we do is that we give you opportunity to explain why we think you have offended the law and why you also think that you haven't offended the law. So we take your statement and we investigate. If we think that we have a case, then we proceed to court and then the court will decide. Because genuinely, some may have the licenses and they wish that you give them the opportunity to go and bring it. So once you are able to produce it, even though we can prosecute you for not producing your license at the time that we requested, however, we will give you the opportunity, once you say you have it, to produce it. If you are able to produce it, then that ends at the police station.
On the streets of Kumasi, many tricycles continue to flout road traffic regulations, most of them riding through wrong lanes. Some ignore the red lights and others overload passengers. Some commercial tricycle riders at Sawaba within the Askorimampong municipality say they are discouraged by the high cost of obtaining license. I think the operation will be beneficial. Some people are riding with fake license. Others flout the laws. So it is good for us to be brought to book. I don't have a license. I want to do one, but 600 cedis is too high. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has revealed many opt for premium service at a cost of 600 cedis, but the riders will have to attach some level of seriousness in acquiring the license since their daily bread depends on it. Many argue the tricycle business will have to be regularized to deal with the high incidence of flouting of road traffic regulations. For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima, Kumasi.
Now, public health officers of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly have confiscated and destroyed several bottles of self-made alcoholic concoctions, popularly called bitters. The beverages were being produced by squatters along the railway lines at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. There, however, was a near fisticuff as the squatters resisted efforts by the AMA officers. They would not allow them to shut down these illegal outlets. My colleague Manuel Kranting is back on the road with a Clean Ghana team and now reports.
We're tackling food hygiene. Food hygiene doesn't mean that we are going to chase only food sellers. Any environment, whatever business you are operating that is likely to have any relationship with edible food, we are tackling you. So we are tackling
Head of Environmental Health Unit at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Joseph Asitanga, with details of the exercise which focused on the enclave around the railway at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. Within the thick slum of makeshift structures in the area were several illegal drinking spots selling unapproved local gin stuffed with herbs and tree barks. The herbs are even more medicinal than foreign liquors. We have the mahogany and so many others. I don't drink raw apetishi. When I drink the mixtures, they increase my libido and boost my sexual performance.
Mahogany na me menum no. Eno no ebia sabi na me fa me bone nteme. Me no obada na mo problem a me num kraman kwete na. Eno no itimi ma me strength.
But with no clearance from the Food and Drugs Authority, the illegal substances were confiscated and destroyed instantly.
To add other chemicals to it and you color it, you have adulterated the potency and the quality standard of the apetishi from the farm. Now, we are registering a lot of heart diseases from the OPDs of the government hospitals everywhere. What is the source? We cannot determine the source of all these things. We are registering strange deaths. Look at the containers, how they are even dusty and rusted. Dust. And that is what they are selling for our innocent brothers and sisters to consume every day. They are telling me it's, what do I call it, mahogany. Do I know what they have added to the mahogany? No. They say neem tree. Do we know what they have added to the neem tree? So we are confiscating these things and we are going to pour it here. We are destroying it in the glare of the product, the seller.
Soon, the team spotted a grinding mill sited just about 3 meters from the railway lines. Who did it belong to?
And also I can't answer. I just can't. It's not me. I don't know. Obama, my friend. Everyone knows me.
Can you take custody of them? Hello.
He's going to bring him back. This guy is here.
Let's disarm this thing.
Where's this thing? Come.
While this went on, a crowd of agitated squatters began building up around the sanitation offices. They will not allow them shut down the mill.
The motto of
You provided any job for us? How then do you shut down the only thing that we're doing here? You will not shut anything down unless you kill all of us. In the end, the law won. Joseph Asetanga explains.
Of Ghanaians, we don't want law enforcement and we are not ready to comply with basic regulations and we are out to enforce the law. So we will enforce the law. They are only agitating. We will not listen to them.
Now, Chief Justice Kwesi Enini-Yeboah has endorsed the Ghana case tracking system as one of the surest ways to address bottlenecks in the administration of justice. The technology-based tracking system is to help curb corruption associated with arrests, investigation, prosecution, and conviction of criminal cases in the country. Justice Enini-Yeboah is hopeful the system will enhance transparency and facilitate coordination within the judiciary. Ohiming Terrier of our security desk has more in the following report.
Introduced in 2018, the case tracking system allows civil society, organizations, and their citizenry to monitor progress of cases from beginning to its closure. It involves the use of software designed to digitally track criminal cases from the initial 40 districts in 7 regions of Ghana. The Legal Resource Center, Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, and the Crime Check Foundation are partnering USAID to implement the Ghana Justice Center support activity. It has been organizing sensitization workshops on the case tracking system in Kumasi. Justice Enini-Yeboah calls for public support in the implementation of the system. His speech was read by Justice Johnny Kulendi, a justice of the Supreme Court.
It will facilitate much greater collaboration and coordination between our justice service institutions. It will also enhance transparency and accountability, which is at the heart of any true sense of justice delivery. And it will reduce the impact of corruption on the process.
Prison is one of the key justice institutions envisaged to to benefit from the case tracking system. An assistant criminal records officer at the Kumasi Central Prisons, DSP Francis Yao Apau, is hopeful the challenge of congestion at the prisons will be addressed. He reviewed out of the current remand population of 458 in the Ashanti region, 180, representing about 40%, have had their warrants expired. He blames administrative lapses such as missing dockets, transfer or death of police investigators for the illegal stay of inmates, leading to the congestion in the prisons.
The remand population in Ashanti region is around 458. Those that warrants or that have expired their stay at the prisons, it was 180. That means about 40% shouldn't be in prison by now. One of the key areas that we are expecting the CTS to work for us is decongesting the prisons. Also, we've identified some administrative lapses in the system. That's what I've termed it. And people are being punished because of these administrative lapses.
Ahead of President Akufo-Addo's visit to the Otsi region today, some residents want delays in completing some major road projects in the region addressed, particularly the Jasikan-Rara and Jasikan-Bodada roads.
The only thing I can feel is that they should try and help from Jasikan to Rara road. Very bad. The contractors will correct the money, they won't do it. Either they pay them or not, nobody knows. So please, we want Mr. President to help for them to do it.
Town road nina say ono na epese president mwae na ntimi nya kwan enye town road no mae Bodada road Jasikan to Rara road so say e say yehu contractors no kan to Rara road no de omu ni ho yehu omo town road no so yehu omo de ahwehwa ne say yakwan no because yakwan no say yakwan no e fine ana impuntu eba man nim Rara kwan no en na menu anaka no Rara kwan no contractor na ba site afide enza hu contractor no say na ekwan no is almost 80% completed but he say contractor na free site nti ekwan asa west kura onam so a bigi sa obekwa ba na odade kura say na usa koto foforo na ye run about no oma be ekwan free ai station a eko hohwe free ha so run about no maja ho inso to a untimi mfa ha na ha nyina say Kromun so ma contractor no ye ba be vote no ye hu so contractor ba side afa mu vote we ya contractor nsan ni obiam.
Senuk, our correspondent, joins us live with more. Peter, is the president in the region already? Hello, Peter, if you can hear me, I'm asking if the president is in the OT region.
Okay, the president is around, but not at the venue center yet. Any moment from now, the president would touch base at Adokwanta, where he's expected to open the 1D1F factory open here for cassava and yam processing. So any moment from now, he will touch down and then speak briefly to the chiefs and people here, and then we'll move on to Damai, Araba.
All right, Peter Senu, we'll end it here. Thanks a lot. That's our correspondent, Peter Senu, with a brief update of the president's visit to the Oti region today. Now, during crowd control, for instance, men in uniform feel less protected because of obsolete equipment. Again, mostly footage from the grounds for critical analysis are nowhere to be found. What if there's a body shield equipped with wireless camera technology that can detect and record dangers from especially blind spots? Fortunately, a Ghanaian engineer has done just that. So on Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Drebra speaks with the engineer, Emmanuel Rekobrobe.
When I heard of various committees being set to investigate a Jura incident concerning our late brother Kaka, and I realized that there are a lot of things that engineers in Ghana can also actually do to help some of these things in future, as to ascertain what caused death in an event, one event or the other. We realized that people were called to testify, and then why not come out with an invention which could inculcate camera, so that when there is an incident on a battlefield or riot control, instead of going to be calling people to come and testify, of which we can have falsehood, the cameras itself will be able to, give us vivid happenings. So that's one of the motivation for coming out with the communication gadget. Actually, our men in uniform normally goes for crowd control. They go for crowd control, and at the end of the day, they themselves, for the fear of their lives, decide to shoot. Sometimes they are left with no option than to shoot, because they themselves are not protected. You go there and people are throwing stones at you, and you look left, right, center. The only thing you have is your AK-47, so you point to the crowd and then you shoot. So this shield is supposed to offer optimum protection for our men, so that they will feel much confident when they are on field. And then to actually scare people from coming closer to them, because whatever you throw to them will not hurt the person and will be able to grab you. The hand is also made of metal, and it's very thick, for that matter, to be able to block any anything that one wants to hurt you with. Yeah, I have in communication gadgets. That's a Motorola here, and then linked with earpiece, and then that will help you to actually communicate to people in your control room, so that when there is a problem ahead of you, they will be able to see through the cameras and then communicate to you. Possibly 100 meters away from you, there is danger, so turn right, turn left. These cameras and then the communication gadgets will be able to help the men in control. It could be in an armored vehicle. You have your backup team there monitoring your movement on the field, and then they communicate to you as to how to go about with your movement.
The multimedia group's classroom project is for that little child who runs home from school when it rains in his village. It is also for that child who risks being killed should their weak school block collapse on them. It is to avert such unforeseen tragedies that multimedia is urging you to give for change to make a difference in the lives of the country's future leaders. The PTA chairman of the Zonaili EA Primary School in Tolong is today appealing to you to intervene in their situation through the classroom projects.
When you look at the school, the population is huge, and when you help us complete the project, it will enable the students to sit in small numbers, and teaching and learning will be effective, because the number of students in each class is overcrowded. It doesn't help teaching and learning. So if Joy News help us in completing the project, it will enable the children and the teachers for effective teaching and learning to go on.
Support in any form can change a life forever. So if you want to contribute, and I urge you to, you can do so via mobile money on this number, 059-303-8832. The number is on your screen. And the Momo account name is Joy FM. You can also do so via the bank, Access Bank. The account number is 0090-101054-191. Castle Road branch, and the branch code is 009. Swift code is ABNGGHAC. You may also reach us at the front desk of our offices for enquiries. You can also call 0302-216-540. The Classroom Project, promoting social justice through philanthropy. Thanks for giving. Now, 3 teenagers arrested in connection with the stabbing to death of a final-year student of Opong Memorial Senior High School are appearing before the Bekwai Magistrate Court. The GHS 3 and 2 students, aged between 15 and 17 years, were arrested on Tuesday, 3 days after they allegedly stabbed Richard Appiah in the lower abdomen with a broken bottle. Richard died upon arrival at the Ahmadiyya Muslim Hospital at Kokofu. Police say the Saturday incident was triggered by an argument over an iPhone. Insurer firm's Oheming Teria, who is on our security desk, joins us with the very latest. Ohemi, what happened in court today?
Thank you, Mama V. We are still in court. A while ago, the case was called in court with the 3 accused persons appear in the dock. But the presiding judge, His Worship Isaac Akuoko, questioned why prosecution decided to bring the accused persons, who are all juveniles, into the open court. So court has to rise in the process. So what is happening now is that the accused persons has been sent to the chamber, meaning that the case will be heard in chamber. So the court has asked the interest parties, for instance, the complainant in this case, who we are told is the headmaster of Jache, the senior high school in which the victim or the disease was at the time of the incident, and then few of the relatives of the disease will also be present in the chamber, and then few journalists will also be allowed into the chamber. So for now, we are meeting, the court is meeting in chamber, where the case will be heard in chamber.
Is there, Ohime, because I remember you telling us about some confession. Is that on record now?
For the confession actually came from the police. According to the Bekwai District Police Commander, DSP Teddy Damte Brown, he said 3 of the accused persons, one of them has confessed to committing the act. But that is yet to come to court because the case was just called, and then the court had issue with the ages of the accused persons, who are aged between 15 and 17. So the court believes that once they are juvenile, the case should be called in chamber, but not in the open court. So for the confession, it was actually from the police, which says that the accused persons confessed in their caution statement when they were arrested.
Okay. Who else is in court, Ohiming? Just the final one.
It's actually a packed court. You could see people standing in the veranda of the court premises trying to catch a glimpse of proceedings in court. The entire court was filled to capacity, and the people who are here, for instance, the relatives of the deceased, Richard Appiah, and some of the students and school teachers had to stand on the veranda to catch a glimpse of what is happening in the court. I must say some residents of Bekwai have also gathered here, those who are aware of the story and have been following the case keenly, want to see the children believed to have killed the 19-year-old boy. So all of them are here, and they are the people who have filled the court into capacity as we speak now.
Ohime, we'll leave it here and wait for that report after court proceedings today. Ohime Teria reporting there live on the court appearance of 3 teenagers who are alleged to have stabbed a 19-year-old who died in the process. More of that later in later bulletins. And later on the Do or Die State of Play today, Evans, Winston and Raymond will be live on all social media handles at 2:30 p.m. to serve the hottest politically incorrect controversies which have dominated the headlines in the last couple of days. Here's what to expect.
And State of Play is up again tomorrow. There's a very exciting conversation is about to ensue. This is about, tomorrow is going to be a do or die affair on State of Play. Will it not be?
Certainly. I mean, listen, the expression is not new to political talk, but be given credence by a man who many have known not to talk like that. So the signals are whether or not the stakes are higher in the next election, or just because it's coming from John Joma and Mahama, everybody should be on alert. Is it a call to arms, or is actually one of those comments just to ginger a base and get them ready for an election?
But some argue he said it in a context. And what is that context? Does that context? The thing is, he's come back. He's come back with an explanation, but says he is not going to retract. So we're going to pronounce a verdict, as we always do tomorrow.
Yes.
And by the way, it's going to be a do or die verdict. You don't want to miss it. It's at 2:30. On all our social media platforms, Facebook, Joy 99.7. Go to Twitter, follow us there as well. It's going to be pretty exciting. Don't forget to join us live via all our links, but also participate in the conversation on the Zoom link, because we want to interact with you, all NDC supporters, MPP supporters as well. Come and face us.
Would it be Zoom or would it be a do or die affair?
I'm hoping it's a do or die affair.
In fact, we expect do or die comments from you too.
Yes. So you're welcome to join.
Is it an idiomatic expression or not? Trust that it will definitely be a do or die affair. 2:30 p.m. today, only on social media. This is Joy News Today. Stay with us. We've got business with Daryl Kwao coming up shortly.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The National Development Bank has secured provisional license from the Bank of Ghana to begin operations. This will, however, be subject to meeting some conditions before it can start full operations next month. George Rafe has the latest.
Joy Business is learning that a formal communication was made last week to the Ministry of Finance by the Bank of Ghana in a letter. This should mean that the bank now has the legal backing to kickstart the process to aid its full operations. However, this is subject to meeting some conditions before. In the said letter, the Bank of Ghana also doesn't want to restrict the approval to the board members and the chief executive, but other key management positions of the bank. There's also talk about the structure and the level of minimum capital requirement that should be imposed by the Bank of Ghana on the institution. Now, failure to meet some of these conditions could see the National Development Bank miss out on starting operations as expected. The Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, recently told Joy Business that government is waiting for the Bank of Ghana's approval so the institution can take off quickly as expected. We also understand that the offices of the National Development Bank has already been secured at a prime location here in Accra. It is the belief of government that the bank taking off on time will aid in the recovery of the economy. The Finance Minister has also revealed that they will be using this bank to support long-term funding to some critical areas of the economy. However, it is not everyone that is enthused about this bank, with some of these persons worried about undue political interference and going the way of institutions like the Bank for Housing and Construction, which has collapsed.
Well, meanwhile, economist Professor Peter Quartey says the survival of the yet-to-be-launched National Development Bank hinges on the avoidance of political interference. Now, he says government has already promised an institution that will be run without political interference, but Professor Quartey wants government to walk the talk.
We don't have long-term financing, and it's only the National Development Bank that can provide that kind of funding that we require. Most of the commercial banks are universal banks, and then they are profit-oriented. They will not lend beyond 3 years. National Development Bank can lend 3, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And that's what is going to bring economic transformation. The only challenge I foresee is that if there's a lot of political interference, the other challenge I foresee is that if we appoint people who are not competent to man the National Development Bank. Otherwise, if you run it like a business, profit-oriented, with clear goals and mandates, I believe National Development Bank will help transform this country. But we are not tax compliant. We've also made tax payment a bit difficult in my view. These days we are giving digitization, so it's much easier if you can go online and pay. How many people are literate enough who can go online and pay taxes? I think we should find a more innovative ways of collecting taxes. The online digitization is good, but I believe there are more people within the informal sector who cannot use the digital means, and therefore the GRA should find ways of reaching out to the untaxed so that our tax GDP ratio will move from the 12% to 25%. That is what we need. If you want to invest and grow, your revenue GDP ratio should be within a range of about 25%.
All right, in other news this afternoon, the Ghana Statistical Service has been speaking about the rate of inflation between locally produced items and imported items, which has widened as a result of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. This rate, as observed by the Statistical Service, indicates that locally produced items since the outbreak have witnessed a significant increase in prices as against imported ones. Let's listen to the government statistician.
The prices point of view, and again, not just the absolute prices, but the changes in the prices point of view. So on the slide that we show the trend from August 2019 to August 2021, we clearly see that the parity that we recorded in the month of May, we lost it to a very large extent last month, that is July 2021, where we saw a relatively higher gap between locally produced items and imported items, with that difference standing at 0.9. But this difference has further been widened in the month of August 2021, where we see a 2.2% difference between locally produced items and imported items. It is important you look at this that is why we do a trend analysis, to see what happened the same period, August 2019, the same period, August 2020, and see whether there is some seasonal effect occurring there.
And there's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We've got more business news coming up at the top of the hour. Sports is up next.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment with me, Eric Wampofo. President of the Ghana Athletics Association, Afali Bika Babu, has revealed his vision is to qualify at least 15 athletes to Paris 2024 Olympics, as well as train coaches.
Our short-term goal is to be able to prepare athletes towards next year. And then from there, we will build on it. We are coming out with a calendar that will span up to 2024. And that calendar is going to determine our activities and then how we are going to organize the athletes. And so for our long-term goal, we want to ensure that by the time we get to the next Olympics, we should be qualifying at least 15 to 20 athletes to the Olympics. And they should be athletes that would at least get us some medals. And so we are going to work towards building our athletes up to the stage that they will be able to win medals at the international level. And that means that we have to also work on our technical aspects. That's developing our coaches who would also be able to handle the athletes up at the various stages. For now, we have coaches that are there, but we need to train them. And then we need to train new ones, retrain the old ones, so that they will be able to come abreast with the new trends in coaching and be able to handle the athletes well. Now, we also have a problem of technical officials. So we have started that process too. We have been able to train 25 level 1 technical officials, and then come November, we shall be training about 10 to 15 level 2 technical officials. And these are people that will be able to help us in the organization of athletics events. And even in 2023, they will be part of the technical officials for the All-African Games.
Before we go, just a quick roundup on My Joy Online /sports, where you can get the latest sports stories, and you can see the latest story coming in saying that Prince Tego, he's offering some advice to CK Akono to what formation the Black Stars should play as well. Up next is World News.